Hey, I don't know, I hope people, do not get offended when I say this because there's no reason to be offended, first and foremost. Also, I want to say this is not medical advice, it's not legal advice, it's no type of advice. It's just me here on live speaking. I am Antoinette Yvonne Jefferson, okay? So, I just wanted to add a little bit to what I was saying earlier. So, Oh, in terms of like strongmen and stuff like that, I mean, I'm not an air body or dead body or none of that type of stuff, okay? And in terms of strongmen, I get the idea. I'm not saying it's, the ideas and whatever, all this, experience, great, very great. But to the extent, like, no, females are strongmen, because I am a straight heterosexual woman. And so, females are strongmen. If you build a business, that's great. If you have done anything else, and that's great. If I pay my money, that's it. That's it. Or if you wrote a book and I pay for the book, apparently, God speaks through all people and whatever. And so, sometimes people think that they are actually that they have done something that where they're just messengers, and sometimes you can own intellectual property, right? So there's several different things going on there. But if I pay my money for a book or whatever, I have value. If the it's zero sum, people at best, but people do owe me money. It's zero sum at best. Whatever I've put down to the ether, my 40 years being on this earth is of greater value than any other female's value. That's it. Okay, so particularly as it regards me. So I'm not indebted to any female, not at all. I get it. I don't have children, but I'm not a pussy bitch, right? I get it. It's like when I tell you to contribute a man to the world, it's like everybody else does, and blah, 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 blah. I'm sure the people who don't have kids and stuff like that, which is fine, but that may not be the nature of my contribution. That may not be the contribution that I am making, right? That may not be why I'm here on this earth, and whatever. Everybody else is just, it could be people are common or whatever. I don't really know. People make different decisions. And so, so that's not necessarily that has nothing to do with me. In positive regards to all females, I'm not mad at any female, but I think people are getting me twisted for whatever reason, and I just want to make sure people don't get me twisted. Okay, so so that's one thing. So to the extent that people are trying to help me understand like why a strong man is entitled to money or whatever, blah, blah, blah. If they are in whatever jurisdiction, great. But as far as me and my personal life, they're not entitled to any money. It's worthless. A female doing something is worthless. They cannot teach me how to do anything. I know how to cook. I know how to clean. I know how to, I've always been marriage material, basically. Okay, people. Like I know how to cook. I know how to clean. I know how to, I know how to organize. I know how to plan. All these things, right? So, and I never need help. I never needed help doing any of it, right? I was born basically knowing all these things, right? And if a person tries to like say, well, I was seeing myself while she was saying that, or like I was thinking that at the same time she was thinking, and all the type of things people try to say. Positive regards to each of you. That's great, but like that's not what's going on. That's not what's happening. Assuming, let's just have I'm just going to present a hypothetical to you all, or not even hypothetical, let's just imagine this, okay? So there's a world, and God is in heaven, and he sends down a signal, and everybody in the world could possibly catch that signal. It is not, no one is entitled to it any more than anyone else. Let's just call that fair use, okay? So if you catch a signal about how to wash a dish, and I catch a signal about how to wash a dish, I am entitled to whatever it's worth to wash a dish, and you are entitled to whatever it is to wash a dish. You get what you get, I get what I get, but you do not get what I get, okay? Because this is what I did, okay, people? So that's the first thing. So in terms of like the straw man thing, I already got the idea. Like, so I don't have to study everything. I don't have to study like engineering and architecture and like, and everything else, to prove, or like chemistry or science and tech. And I don't do all that just to prove that, just to prove, I can handle things, right? It's great. I get the idea, right? But I don't have to know every single thing about every single thing in order to live my life, right? I don't have to do that. And so some people talk about trust and truth. It's positive regard to each person, okay? But like, I don't never need anything from a female at all. God creates people. People can be vessels or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But God creates people. And people may be prepared for some of this because I've been saying it for a long time now, vocally. And sometimes, doppelgangers are a little bit of annoyance to me. I'm sorry. I think that's the actual personality type. But sometimes they think they figured it out or whatever. Sometimes they focus on like one thing here, one thing there, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they think I don't really know. But positive regards to them also. I'm not mad at doppelgangers either. Female doppelgangers, males and females are different, right? But I'm just talking about females right now. So, and I just want to say that because apparently people think that the only way you can know how to be marriage material is if somebody taught you from like other people, if you're, it's ridiculous. Like, people who have the females who have girl children think that they are responsible for their girl children or whatever. It's just ridiculous, right? Because there are a lot of females who never got married, who have children who got married, right? So I'm not really sure how they explain that, right? And it's like sometimes it's because of me or in spite of me or whatever. You just kind of cancel, okay? But anyway, so I just want to say that because I guess the idea is like, well, we're all contributing men, so that's why we're dating men, blah blah blah, and it's like it sounds plausible to them for whatever reason, right? That like because they contribute to man, but they didn't contribute to man, right? God creates people, right? They are more. God creates people. They are. I don't know, but God creates people, and the fact that a person like does something that they were biological, that's just like this biology. There's nothing special that people do, and I'm not mad about it, right? It's great. But people have different things that they do, right? So that's it. And then when a person is born, they are their own genetics, right? They're not the mothers or the fathers or whatever. I don't even call them mothers, or mom or dad, whatever. They're not or parents or whatever. They're not those. A person create that. It's like they're once a person is his or her own individual DNA, which is distinct from either of those DNA. And people can disavow or disaffirm or void contracts with parents or children or any of that type of stuff, right? So, or like you can sever different types of relationships, maybe legally. Birthright's a little bit different, but spiritually probably also, right? There are ways to do those types of things, right? Some people, everyone is not, everyone isn't that, okay? But anyway, but I'm not mad at people, like, because you can also contract to be in, like, families and stuff. Like, you can say, well, I'll be in this family, I'll be in that family, or those. Like, you can, like, some people, are, there are people who, like, their friends are more important than their family. Family is more important than their friends. People make different decisions. It's great, right? Some people, it's about their career. And some people's parents die early, and there is just them, they're just living their lives or whatever. And so, or they were in foster care or adopted or whatever. And so, there are a whole lot of different, things are going on. And some people, there are people who, whose children pass, and there are people whose, it's a lot of stuff, right, that happens, or a whole lot of things that happen, right? So, but like in terms of that, like one for one, it's like, well, I guess they're saying the world may say, well, you have to give money because like your contribution to the world is money if you have not contributed to a child and blah blah blah, assuming arguendo. But there's a problem with that. So because I guess assuming that a person is saying that their child is their contribution and like they've consented to it and blah blah blah. Because I'm not dating everybody's child first and foremost, okay? But or offspring or whatever you want to call it, right? So I'm not really sure like the whole village to raise a child thing. That's great, but I'm not really sure. Like I don't know, I don't know where they did that. But anyway, so that's one thing. And a lot of people, I don't know, because some people want to take, I'm not saying it's not natural to like have children or to want children, or unnatural to have children or want children. I'm not saying any of that stuff. Right? I'm not saying whether it's natural, unnatural, none of that, or nature versus nurture, or any of that type of stuff. Right? I'm just going to set that to the side for right now. But anyway, but like in terms of, and like also, it's not legal advice or like, medical advice or any of that type of stuff, or even spiritual advice, okay? Or even professional advice or any of that. But like, I want to kind of set it to the side, and there may be conflict of laws, and people may be interpreting things different ways than what I'm saying, and there are different interests and all that type of stuff, and competing interests. I'm just specifically speaking from my particular perspective at this time. And so if people are listening to this and they're trying to like say, well, what about this interest, and what about that interest, and what about this interest, and what about that interest, right? Because and it's like there's a whole lot of people in the world, a whole lot of interest on this stuff. Like I'm just saying, like that's not what should be going on right now, right here. Because I'm just saying something. If I say that, this thing will go ad infinitum. Because I'm 40 years old, I've read a lot of books, and I've had a lot of experiences, and I could just keep talking. Because I guess there is what people need to know at what time and how to say it. Those are three things, and so I'm speaking. I'm not being punished, not greedy, not gluttonous. I never fail to manage. I never fail to self-regulate, or I should say, I don't fail to manage. I don't fail to self-regulate, or any of those things. It's never been my problem. It's never been my problem. To the extent that I'm not an architect, by profession, but to the idea of being like precise in those types of things, like I am as precise as I need to be. There are built-in checks. God is good. What's good is good. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. My religious beliefs and silly held, and so on and so forth. And so, so I don't want anyone to interpret this and say, well, what if it applies to this person? What if it applies to that person? What if what you're saying is a conflict for this person over here, and this person is close to you? Or what if it's a conflict with this person over here, and this person is close to you, and all those types of things? Like, I don't want, like, I'm saying, people, please refrain from doing that right now, and at all. if it's going, like, because it's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying this is just information, but people do not use it, to hurt. Do not use it to set up games. Do not use it any way that is inappropriate, inapplicable, that will cause harm or anything like that. Because then there's like penalty, payment, punishment, permanent injunction, also maybe preliminary injunction. I didn't even say that, right? But stays, I didn't say that either. Okay, those are all types of things to kind of prevent, like, or like to like the kind of tools if there's conflict of laws or whatever. So those types of things can kind of prevent harm and stuff. And it's like to the extent of harm, condition of the heart, and like extent of involvement, right? It can be conjunctive or disjunctive. I'm saying it's not legal advice. I'm just saying for me, right? My philosophy, and then what I'm kind of, or not, maybe it's not personal, professional philosophy, but what I've just kind of been thinking, right? So, and I've said it several times. I added preliminary injunctions and stays, and yeah. So, but anyway, but I just want to say these things, right? So do not like just kind of like take this and just run with it. Don't take it and run with it. Don't do it. I'm telling people don't do that, okay? Don't play. Sometimes I'm not saying it's a game called That's Internet, but don't play That's Internet if it's a game that people play. I'm just saying don't do it, okay? And don't try to divide and conquer. Don't do that either, people, okay? And don't like do things, people, and then like when people do things and like it seems to have an impact that's or outcome they weren't really expecting, okay? And I'm not giving advice, is what I'm saying. I'm saying this is how like I kind of see things, right? But like don't do that, and then like someone, like you were hoping that it would help people, may hope that it was going to help someone, help them get close to someone or help them get money or whatever, and it backfired on them, and then you want to blame the person that from who you were trying to get money, or the person you were trying to use to get money, right? Like if you're trying to use somebody's family member, you were trying to use somebody's whatever, like people, I'm saying don't do that, because then people get sad and stuff, I'll presume. They're like, oh my gosh, so-and-so got stuck. And it's like, how did that happen? And it's like, okay, blame this person because, that's the person's sister or brother or blah, 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 or whatever, I don't really know, okay? Or uncle or nephew or, cousin, okay? Don't do it. I'm not giving advice, but I'm just saying this is how I kind of, like, don't do it because then people get sad and they're sad about themselves, like assuming, I'm not really saying, because they did whatever, but they're more sad because so-and-so got stuck, but they're like kind of taking pleasure in like, the person getting stuck and stuff, right? And then they want to kind of blame me, assuming arguendo, or another person, because they're like, well, Internet, if you had just done this and done that, and this person wouldn't got stuck, and they wouldn't have been sad, and they wouldn't have got stuck, and blah, 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 and this is the way the world works, and, if you were in school, and blah, blah, blah. That was a lie, okay? I don't know what CD is. But, like, so, I just wanted to say that, and I'm gonna go back to the kid thing, children thing, but like, so I just wanted to say that, and the straw man thing, but I wanted to say that because I think that, I don't want people to be mistaken in any way, right? Because like the divide and conquer thing is a problem. Like my religious belief is sincerely held. If I say it again, I'm not curing it. I'm just saying, why am I saying the same thing over and over again? Okay. So don't do that, and don't rely on what I'm not an entertainer. I'm not like someone who's holding myself out to like for you to follow what I'm saying and those types of things. Like in self-defense, I say things in self-defense, but like I'm not like. Sometimes it could be just enough rope, people. It could be just enough rope, because it would seem like it would, it's like, oh my gosh, if it seems too good to be true or whatever, it probably is, people. I'm not giving advice in that regard, but like it probably is. If it, all that glitters isn't gold and all that type of stuff, but like, and like, that's what I used to say, but like there's something about fanfare too, like people who haven't defeated fanfare, I don't really know, but like, it's not reasonable, it's not really like, let me say this, okay, so to the extent that like people will get sad after they do something or whatever, they don't realize that they're actually causing it, and that's why they're getting sad. Because like they were hoping that, like, if you're relying on, assuming argument, it's just like a hypothetical, if you're relying on A, to do something, and because you want to get money from B, right, and or money from C, someone else, right? So, but A doesn't do what you want them to do, and and C ends up suffering in some way, and like you cannot, like, it is not A's fault, because say it's a privacy right or whatever it is, it's not A's fault that you try to use the A to get to C. You couldn't use A to get to C, and you can't blame A to get to C because you didn't get what you wanted, people, because you already knew that that's not what A was going to do, right? So I'm not really sure You know, people, so this is what I'm saying. Like, you knew it, A wasn't going to do that. You knew that wasn't A's life. You knew that was not right. You knew it wasn't, you knew all that. So, and you were hoping that you could do some manufacture to get to C. And you knew it was a losing game from day one. But apparently, apparently, like, you still tried, people, assuming arguendo, But, like, and so when C, whatever happens to C, assuming, I'm not saying anything happened to C, but let's just say it's hypothetical, something happened to C, it's just an idea, then, like, but like the people who were like trying to, like, A didn't do anything wrong, C didn't do anything wrong, right? So why do C didn't do anything wrong? So but the people who did everything around, everything, to like try to get to A, then C, like, what happens to C? You can't blame A, okay? Everybody should take responsibility for what they did. Can't blame A or C. And probably damages, money, whatever, are due to both A and C. And everybody should collect everything that they did that was wrong. And the money goes to A and C, actual money. I'm not talking about stuff where people go like, well, you have to get the money, you have to climb through dirty pipes to get the money, or you have to do things against your religion to get money, or your spirituality to get the money. No, the money's owed, and like, people cannot hedge their bets and cannot do things to get the money. Like, that's it. You owe them money. The way most people get money, just they don't have to engage in type of any physical acts to like get the money that's owed to them, because people I'm not really sure about all the jurisdictions and stuff like that and comments and laws, but like, it just doesn't seem to make sense that a person would have to like suffer or like be it's not even punish or suffering or whatever, but have to do something that they don't want to do just to get the money that's owed to them. This is ridiculous, people. Okay, the money's owed to A and C. Everybody should collect everything, all the money, like, I guess, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard trial, whatever, or Johnny Depp trial, right? And then that's it. And give the money to A and C. That's it. And not ask A and C to like do things that they would not do or not want to do or don't need to do, to get the money that's owed to A and C. And this is just common folk stuff. The common folk, and then they kind of take pleasure in, like, maybe A is also A. There's some things that, if there's harm that comes to harm is whatever. I don't want to call it harm, but whatever. A and C or whatever. There have been some, people are just kind of taking pleasure in what they think is the person's pain or whatever of A and C, because they were trying to do whatever they were trying to do to, whatever, to come up or whatever, because apparently A and C are worth a lot of money. I don't really know. Okay, so assuming arguendo, people just stop. Not giving any advice, I'm just saying, just stop. Because people just don't want to blame A and C because they put all their money in it and they know it's a losing game. And it's hard for people to accept that, A is not the problem, C is not the problem, but the people are the problem, right? And so people should stop. I believe in God. I believe in God, and God is good. I'm not being punished. C is not being punished. And ain't no vices and none of that type of stuff. But even still, people make different decisions, okay? So that's it, right? You cannot blame A or C and say, well, it's because of you and it's your fault, blah, blah, blah. No, people, it's what people have been doing, and people should stop doing what they're doing, right? And then that's it. So that's what's one. But the straw man thing, okay, so that's one. There's some more thing, there's great I want to say about that, but that's one thing, okay? So the Divine and Conquering, Willie Lynch stuff, you all should read about it, okay? It's not about race in that regard, I'm saying that's how people are, whether it's race or not. I wasn't gonna say Willie Lynch because that's my old math or whatever. But people now think that it's an out, right? They think it's like, when I say that, then males and like uninvolved males, not all males, but uninvolved males and females, then they think like, oh, this is the old antonym. Like, I can handle that one. I figured that one out. That was a liar. They have not figured it out, okay? Because maybe the word Lynch and the word Willie or whatever and what it means, I'm not really sure. I don't know exactly what the words mean, blah, 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 and stuff from a long time ago. So, but the idea of divide and conquer, in whatever regard. Like, don't do it, people. Okay? So, that's it. Because if A and C are innocent and suffering, and A and C are innocent, and not suffering, I don't want to say suffering, but like, if there's some things like that you may never know, people, because like, you may like, whatever. But like, and then you want to like say like, because A and C take care of themselves fine. A and C, I can take care of myself, and say C can always take care of himself, or C can take care of himself, and A can always take care of himself, or whoever. If I'm A, if I'm C, if I'm C, if I'm A, if my man is C, or my man is A, and I'm C, or I'm A, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. or whatever, okay? The men whom I love, like whatever, whoever the man is, it represents the idea, interest, no females, put that to the side, positive regards to each female. I'm not jealous of any females, not mad at any females, none of that. No females better than me, but positive regards to all the females, and just put that to the side. If they are dealing with any men or blah, 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 like just don't commingle. Like the females should do whatever they do, whatever, blah, but the man should get a separate bank account because this is like appears to be a conflict that cannot be screened for whatever reason, okay? Or whatever. And so that's it. And all the, I don't really know, the dating games or who's calling or whatever, all that stuff, positive regard to all the people. I'm not upset at that. I'm just saying it's a point of diminishing return. If you date me and you date somebody else after that, it's a point of diminishing return. Or if you come to me and there's somebody that you want to try to knock me out, but I don't really know how all the games people play or whatever. I'm just saying it's a point of diminishing return. After me, it's a point of diminishing return, okay? And if you want to deal with somebody and blah, 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 you then deal with that person, keep it over there, okay? But that's it. But don't come to me. You don't need me to help you in your relationship. I'm not a matchmaker or none of that stuff, okay? I'm not a matchmaker. I'm not making introductions. I'm not doing none of that stuff. Positive regard to you all. But if I want that job, and I'm not giving nobody out, because I know what doppelgangers are going to say. You know doppelgangers are ridiculous ass people. Positive regard to them, no. Everybody has a role in life. But but if I were going to, you would know, people. I would say, hey, that's not what I'm doing. And you have to also understand the nature of the rejection, the basis of the rejection, okay? Because people cannot, it's not that easy to figure out, people. And so, apparently I'm saying things and I'm protecting my intellectual property. Okay, my intellectual property is protected. I thank you God right now. I'm praying right now. Protect my intellectual property because apparently people are running around saying stuff and like they think if you cannot protect your intellectual property, then like people are going to say things and run around. They're going to mimic me and act like they're me and people are going to get stuck. But they're like, well, how did I get stuck with this thought? And how did I get stuck with this doppelganger? And how did I get stuck with this person, this big bird bitch? Or how did I get stuck with, this person or whatever? All the renditions of whatever the female is, and they're trying to get to me. I am not leading people astray. I do not fail to protect my intellectual property and that stuff. But, people, when they have jobs and stuff, sometimes they go beyond the scope of their employment. And sometimes they just do fucked up shit. And that's it, okay? And sometimes it is negligent hiring, supervision, all that type of stuff. So it just depends, right? But, they're built-in checks, and God is good. And so there is an extent to excessive force. And people are like, well, we're going to challenge you on that. That was a liar, okay? Cannot challenge me on that. And all the citizenship rest and all that type of stuff, positive regard to all those people. Because there's, people are just, I don't really know why people thought they were on the earth and that there's one person who's a hypocrite and everybody else is like just, God. I don't really know why they thought that. So, but I'm not calling children devil spawn or baby's kids and all that type of stuff, but there are different types of children. And, there are different types of, different types of, it's a whole lot of stuff, right? I don't know everything. I don't know. The things that I know from, there are different ways of knowing. And certain things I know God, expressed it to me. Certain things from experience, different ways of knowing, right? But I'm not greedy or gluttonous. So apparently people are like, well, and said, well, the way you do anything, the way you do everything. I'm not really sure. Just kind of put a pin in some of those things, people. I'm not giving away information and stuff. I'm just saying because, don't play that Saint Internet again because there's some things you will never know about me. And if you're trying to say, well, you know me, you do not know me. That's it. You don't know me. None of these people know me, right? There are guys who may know me a little bit better than, or maybe know me better than, certain other people and stuff like that. But no females know me. That's first and foremost. So if you're a guy, do not rely on a female to tell you anything about me because you're going to get caught. You're going to get stuck or whatever. Don't rely on it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you now. This is not legal advice. It's not medical advice. It's no type of. This is just me telling you about who I am because apparently people don't fucking know. And I don't feel guilty. I ain't do nothing wrong. And what I'm doing right now, no good deed goes unpunished. I don't have to say this, people. I don't owe nobody nothing. But, I'm saying it right now. So I just want you to know that, people. I'm not bitter. My eyes are not bulging out. I don't have diabetes. I'm not trying to play above my level. I don't I'm not like a stalker. I'm not aspiring to be with men that are like, other things. I'm not, I'm not catching signals or whatever you want to call, that are intended for other people or that stuff. No, the devil's a liar. Okay. Anything I know, I have earned. And, worst case scenario about credibility. And once again, how does it feel if, I've done everything, I've been to school and worked hard and played sports and disciplined my body, my spirit and mind, all those types of things, but we give credit to somebody else or they give credit to somebody else. I don't really know people, but I cannot explain to you. Like, Rome was not built in a day. I'm 40 years old. God has been good to me. Nobody else could walk, a mile in my shoes or be who I am or whatever, give what it's worth. My freedom, my freedom is important to me. And, but it's not, now I know how to play and stuff. I'm just saying the people, come back to the straw man thing, but like the people and the kid thing, but like the people who, the people who think that like, excuse me, but the people, okay, I'll just come back to it, but like the people who think that like, that they are, that they know better than me or whatever. I have to come back. They don't. Okay, you don't know me. You don't know better than me. There are guys who know me well. There, things God has revealed to me and everything. But there are things that that nobody's ever gonna know about me. So don't play that Santanet. Right? Don't play the game that's Santanet, because there are things you're never going to know, and it may be dispositive. It may be that one thing, that one linchpin that will like change the whole thing, right? So like, I'm just saying, like, to the extent there's self-defense and everything, I'm telling about myself, right? Don't do it. And again, I don't owe anybody anything. I don't feel guilty about whatever, because whatever people were doing, they were doing that on their own. Like, whatever, if they were riffraff, they were whatever, they were doing all that on their own. I had nothing to do with that. People might have saw me and saw money signs or whatever, the money sign, whatever they saw. I don't really know. But whatever they saw, they did on their own. You cannot blame me for what you did. That's it. You cannot blame me. You cannot blame my men, my guys, nothing like that. I don't know if anybody people made different decisions. That's it, okay? But like, I don't know if it's wrong, none of that stuff. But like, you cannot blame me. You cannot blame me. I'm wearing a red shirt that says Howard, okay? You cannot blame me for people doing things because they were opportunistic, opportunistic people. I'm not like a science experiment. Like, my body is not a science experiment. My mind is not a science experiment. None of that stuff. God is good. I'm not being punished, and God is good, and I get it. Okay, so that's it. And so and for people, like, I'm not giving them enough rope, but that's the expression, people. It's like, it's called just enough rope. Especially when people think that like they're going to get something for nothing, or they think that they can cut corners, right? There are people who are genius, right? I mean, I don't know about genius. I don't know about females. Positive guys, all the females positive guys. I'm not mad at them. But like, there's genius, right? And say a guy or whatever is genius or whatever. I'm probably the exception to the rule in a lot of regards. I am exception in many ways. But like, if a guy is genius or whatever, blah, blah, it's no big deal, right? But, guys have different draws, okay? or different, strengths or whatever, positive regards to each of the guys, right? But like, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not Freudian slip, because they tried to catch me saying something that I would never want to say, and that's like social work stuff. That was like, I don't know what CD is, because I sound like I said gad. I'm not gad. I'm not mad at anyone. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. But even still, emotions are, I'm not sure why like a person would not, like, there's a gamut of emotions, and so it's probably appropriate to whatever, there's this a particular type of emotion, probably, I don't really know, but it's probably appropriate to address it in a certain way, whatever way you're going to address it, right? So that's it. And to be like, to express like logic, there's also a role for logic, right? So so I'll say that, right? So do not rely on any female. If you're a guy, don't rely on any female to tell you nothing about internet, because you're gonna be led astray by that female or whatever, because there's no way they can know me. If they were my friend, for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, went to church with me for 20 years, blah, blah, they never gonna know about me. Never gonna know about me, because like, there's no way a female can be that close to me. It's no way. It's no way. It's just impossible. Right? Even if they read every book I wrote, if like they were like my wingman and we went to club, every other Friday and stuff. No, it's just no way they can know. It's no way. I don't really know how to explain it. I know enough. I don't know everything, but I know enough. There's no way. So please don't rely on a female to tell you anything about me. And a lot of guys who don't know a lot about me, but there are guys I trust and they know enough. Part of it, something not a function of logic, but some things, you just have to let, God has to, you have to trust God. And I don't like, I know the devil is a trick, the devil can be tricky. The devil can be tricky, it's true. And so like, And so when the devil tries to trick and stuff like that, it's just, God has to cure those things. Cause like, there are guys who, like, it's like, well, how did I get here? How did I do, and I'm sure it happens to a lot of people, but like, it's the father. All they have to know is like, all they have to know is, okay, I didn't know this, but I know it now. That's it. Okay. Well, no. But if the person never tells them, and it's like, well, you never knew, Anthony. You never knew that this was purple, and you thought it was green, but it's actually purple. Like, how do you feel now? It's purple, and it's like, you thought it was purple the whole time or whatever, blah blah. But or you thought it was green, whatever, blah blah. It's like, okay, I'm telling you now it's purple. Oh, that is purple. I didn't know that. Well, the answer is no. I didn't know it was purple. I know it's purple. It's just that simple. No. Okay, that's it. And if they were trying to trick me and say it's it's green or whatever, and I thought it was green, but or whatever, and it was like or whatever, but it was actually purple, and you're saying it's purple. Well, that's all I need to know. It's purple. If God said it's purple, well then that's it. It's over, and you owe me money for telling me it's green the whole time when it was actually purple. That's it. Okay, so but something I'm not gonna prosecute, also, motive, purpose, intent, all that matters. But like a lot of times we don't even get to the point of motive, purpose, and intent and any of that. So if you don't have standing, right? People think everybody's entitled to due process and stuff. But like there's some people you don't have standing. So it's not gonna be, you're not gonna be entitled to due process. And then, they say so and so felt embarrassed or so and so felt hurt, because I may go somewhere, and it's like, I may go to a place or whatever, and people will try to try to paint as like try to make it like, oh, we're gonna paint this person this way or that way, or like try to you never make a fool out of me, okay? You can try really, really hard, but it's never gonna happen. So why am I looking like this, people? So anyway, that's it, right? So but anyway, the straw man thing, because a lot of times I go someplace and like the way like the type of energy and all that type of stuff that people are like doing, it's not even what's actually happening, right? Some of this stuff is just like see how a person responds to it, right? Like so, and people interpret things different ways. Like you see something with no volume, or you hear something you don't, and there's no visual picture. It's a whole lot of things that are going on, and so people may interpret different things in different ways. It's whatever, but like it does not have, it's not a reflection of who I am. I ain't no joke, okay? And so that's it, right? But like in terms of in terms of the straw man thing, I don't even want to jog my memory, and it's not the relying on concept type of thing, but God is good, right? And I thank God for being good, because apparently, everybody wants to know something. When I start recording stuff, then the devil, not just the devil, but like, just energy type of stuff. It's a whole lot of things, because I am, I have a repertoire and reservoir of knowledge and stuff. And so, when I speak, I know people listen. And when I speak, I also know that there are a lot of things people want to know. Some people, don't, some things you must be this tall to ride this ride. Sometimes people don't have enough money and they want to it's not they want to cut corners and stuff, but it's the reason why they don't have enough money, right? So it's not even something that's in my discretion to do, or like even if it was in my discretion to do, like some things, like it is the law, right? Is it, it is, right? Whatever, it depends on the jurisdiction. We're like, they say you can't change the law or whatever, or you can't change the game, but can you change the law? Can you change the game? But like in certain regards, some things, even if you can change certain things, maybe not all things, some things, there are things that are foolproof. And then people try to challenge you on blah, 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 but they may want it to change for you, but not someone else. That was a lie. Okay. So, what's good for the end. But like, I just want to say that. So, but like, so I think the only thing about the straw man, blah, 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 is just that I just wanted to, or woo, 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 whatever. But I think about the straw man thing is just, something, there are things I know, right? There are things that I know enough about it, right? I don't have to study all of it. I know enough about it, right? So that's what I was saying about architecture, engineering, all that type of stuff. Like the straw man is similar type of thing. There are enough things I know about it, right? In terms of like how it works or whatever, and like the kind of details and all that type of stuff, it's great, right? But to the extent that like, it's like trying to pay me an experience dollars. I'm not really sure how you spend those, right? And if it's experience dollars, God tells me everything I need to know. There's some things that are people, some things that are God, right? So the things that are people is great, but the things that are God is totally different. And so, or not even some of it, so it's like it's different, right? So, so in terms of like the straw man thing, like I get it, right? But if I say a female is worthless in that regard, you know, it's not self-hate or anything like that. I'm saying that, like, in terms of my personal life or my personal private life, things that are like, you know, about like, you know, because I only date men and stuff, but like my personal and private life, right? You know, that's totally different. Like, I don't know what a school marm is, okay? I don't owe any females anything, not now, not then, or like not ever, but positive regards to females, right? I'm not mad at them or whatever. If I write a book, sure, I want like people to buy my book and stuff. If I you know, have a business, sure. It's not personal though. It is professional. I'm not like saying, well, you know, if they pay whatever, I'm not saying, well, you also have to do this, this, and that. That's ridiculous, people. Because apparently, you know, I don't know what you thought about me, okay? But like, that's it, right? People thinking they supposed to get money over money over money over money over money for like stuff that's it. Some of the things like I don't really know that it's a whole lot. I don't know everything about it, but like that's what I'm saying, people. So. But to understand, people think they teaching me something, they ain't teaching me nothing. Like, you know, Patrick Back David talks about being an autodidact and stuff, you know, self-taught. Yeah, I don't know if I heard the word or whatever, but, you know, it's the idea. And sometimes people, like, you say, well, what about teachers? That's great. You can be a teacher or facilitate, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Does not mean you're doing the work for me, like, or facilitate anything for me. It means, you know, you get a check from wherever whatever the institution is or whatever, and they pay you, blah, 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 and that's it. But, like, you do not take credit for what I am doing. That is your job. You know, and I have what I'm doing, and that's it, okay? I don't have to give credit to any female or any teacher or anything if I don't want to do that, because I don't have to do that, okay? You would not have a job also. People would not have a job if I, you know, if I was not here, if I was not doing anything, you know, or whatever. If I was not born, if I was not, you know, if I was not who I was, okay? So they would not have a job either, all right? Or I'm saying, not always, I'm just saying, or whatever, like to zero sum, people. Zero sum, cancel, you know, that's it. So people apparently think I'm supposed to pay them hand over fist, like things I don't, you know, running fence with me. I don't know exactly sure what that expression means, but it just came to mind. I heard it when I was a long time ago. I don't mean any violent acts. That, you know, that was a liar. I'm just saying, people think I'm supposed to like continue. They think I'm like that I'm the royalty for them. Like they just think I'm like, ooh, you know, like okay, get money again. Okay, well the book was only $10, but like they want to like get the $1 billion for the $10 book. Okay. I'm just saying, don't be ridiculous. And then I guess I would not buy the books that are like titled by them. People have pen names, pseudonyms, a whole lot of stuff, okay? And apparently, if they don't know, I've written all of my books, and I've researched all of my books and everything. But, you know, for people who like, you know, there are different things. Truth and trust, positive regard, males and females are different. There are some men who have legal minds. It is true. You know, they may not have gone to law school, but they have legal minds, right? And so, and they're logical and all type of things, and males are different from females, right? So they may be able to, like, they're good, right? They can handle, like, certain things that, like, may be difficult for other persons to handle. That's it. So, but for some guys, and like it depends on, for some guys, they may be able to, you know, keep up with like the skill of lawyering, right? The skill of lawyering, not just the talent or practice of being born in like with a certain legal mind. They may be able to also keep up with like those kind of nuances of, or not even just nuances, practices, the things that are so specific that you can only way you can like really get to like the one way you can survive, or not survive, but like practice at a certain level or whatever, is a function of like having cultivated the legal mind in whatever way the guy has cultivated his legal mind, right? You know, for a person who's gone to law school, a guy who's gone to law school is a little bit different, right? Like, I don't know about no females, positive regard to them. Myself, yes, I've gone to law school. I don't know about females, though. Positive regard, so I'm not really sure. That's a whole different other stuff. But put that one to the side. And I rebuked about the enemy who would try to, like, do energy work. And when I show my hand, apparently they want to put people's body parts in my hand. That was a lie. That said that energy work. But, you know, I'm going to pass that off. But into the ether, not into a person. Because just into the ether, you know, it may be burned up or whatever to the extent that that's, like, self-defense of that energy work, right? So that's it. But because I don't want to pass on to somebody anything that I would not really want for myself. But sometimes I do, like, if it's, like, the left or those type of stuff, you know, speaking language, you understand those type of things, sure. That's the meaning of the law. But it does not mean I'm changing my whole lifestyle. Don't be ridiculous, people. So anyway, there's nothing wrong with the way I was. So that's it. And nothing wrong with the way I was then. Nothing wrong with the way I am now. Not saying there's nothing in mental health or anything like that. There is something to it, and diagnosis and all that stuff and all this. I mean, it's just not what people think. And like God is good, but there are also people in the world, and people just do ridiculous ass shit. Okay, they go beyond the scope of their employment. They fuck up. They do wrong things. You know, they get carried away. It's a whole lot of stuff, right? You know, that's it, right? I have no comment about no females, but like, I just don't own anything. I've always been marriage material, and so like, you know, that's it. I come from a good family, or what I am from. What I don't want to say that God created me, okay, and I just positive regard. I'm gonna put a pin. I'm just not gonna say too much about the family thing. I don't know about no females positive regard, but I'm well loved, okay. That's it, from men or God, whatever. That's it. But like, and I'm not mad at females, right? That's it. There's a positive regard to them. But anyway, like, so, and I'm not jealous of them. I'm not any jealous of any female as a child. I'm not jealous of any female who, you know, any representations they're making about whatever they, whatever they're, you know, however they are, working with individuals of whatever, like, means or gender, right? Gender or whatever. I have no comment about it, positive regards to them. If, you know, a guy and a girl working together or whatever the nature of their relationship, I don't really know, positive regards to them. Okay, that's it. But like, yeah, so the straw man thing, so that's it. Like, if a person is like, well, instead we're gonna pay you an experience, we're gonna help you understand the straw man thing. If I said already, you know, I get it, straw man, worthless. You're female, it's worthless to me if you're trying to teach me something, because like, that's it, zero sum. If I pay for like the whatever, a book or whatever, you know, no good deed goes unpunished. I probably don't need to pay for the book in the first place, but you know, whatever, no good deed goes unpunished. Whatever. If I, you know, whatever, I guess I can make my own hair products if I really want to make my own hair products. I guess I could learn how to like make fire if I want to make fire. You know, I'm sure I could do these. I guess I could go to Girl Scouts at 40. I don't really know, people, but like, and I guess a guy could be my scoutmaster or whatever they call it. Okay, that's it. Guys also do all these things, right? The things that females are saying, guys do all of those things also, okay? So, so positive regard. So I think they should not push it, or they should not try to make something out of nothing, right? Because no good deed goes unpunished. Like, I'm God, everybody else should play along and play their parts and stuff. Okay, positive regard. You know, if that's what you want to know, people. This is my position, right? I'm saying that's great. You know, people saying they won't vote and stuff, blah, blah, blah. I don't really know. There's some things that it would probably it's bad policy to vote on, certain things like that. It's something you cannot even vote on at all. You cannot vote on my confidence about who I am. It's not intellectual exercise, people. I know I'm gorgeous. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm pretty. I know I'm smart. I know I have strength. I know I'm wealthy, right? That's not something you can't vote on. It's not going to change how I think about myself. And there are enough data points and facts and evidence that all of it is true. Enough, right? And so other people may think whatever they think about themselves. They may have whatever data points, whatever they think they have, blah, blah. It does not have any impact on the data points I have for myself, right? And, you know, then people want to say, like what? But the whole like what thing, it was not invented by anyone, okay? You know, from day one, I've been writing, essays since I was a kid, or whatever, writing since I was a kid. And you have to have supporting sentences, right? You have a main idea and supporting, you know, it's called paragraph, people, okay? This is not a new thing. It's not new. This is not new at all, okay? So if I'm not saying like what, or if I'm not providing evidence or examples, there's a reason why I'm not doing it. It's not because I cannot do it, okay? And so, and you know, I don't like to be rushed. And they're not gonna work me to death. And you know, you know, so there are other things I want to say, but it'll come back to me, right? So, you know, I think I have a good mind. I rebuke dementia, senile, or being senile, and Alzheimer's, and all of that type of stuff, and like whatever Disneyland in that regard. You know, just be like kind of in your own head and stuff. The devil is a liar. I rebuke it in Jesus' name. And so, or I'm not really sure, but I don't know why I said Jesus' name, whatever, because there's Jesus, but there's a full name for Jesus and a whole lot of stuff, but like, and there's God and Lord, there's a whole lot of stuff I don't know about, or God, and there's a whole lot of stuff I don't know, but like the Bible is like it's a very extensive book, and so there's much to know about it. And again, if there is any, like, I don't want any conflict, like, because there are some things I say, some words I say, with my understanding of those words that may appear to be a conflict with someone else. And so, just scream, because, because I don't, like, I'm not sure it helps anyone. Like, I'm not on slim dumb time where it's like, you just can't say anything. You're just kind of stuck and stuff. And I'm also not on, I'm also not on, like, like walking on eggshells, right? Like, because I'm not really sure that helps anyone. There is architect, right? There is architect, right? It's like walking on eggshells, and that's one thing. You don't want to do that, and they kind of run and rush out. You don't want to do that either, and like that. But architect's slightly different, because I'm not sure that has a lot to. It may or may not have to do with strength and speed. It's more like precision, but it can apply whatever. So no, this is stuff that people probably never heard. So this is like intellectual property. My intellectual property that's worth a lot of money, right? So, and I don't want doppelgangers to like start running rush out and stuff and saying, well, I know internet and I figured it out, blah, 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 blah. And they come back 20 years later like, well, internet's all about consistency and stuff, okay? I don't want people to do that, right? This is my intellectual property. I haven't not thought about it a lot, but I'm saying this now. It doesn't mean anybody's going left or anybody's doing the thinking or telepathy or any of that type of stuff. It just means, because I have a reservoir of knowledge, and some of it is subconscious, unconscious, or conscious, or whatever. And something people would never know. I know myself well. I know who I am. I know something that I know. It doesn't sound like that was something I would ever say. And with that logic or with that effect of blah, 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 like I know myself well enough to know, like, that's not something I would say, and that's not something how I mean it. If you try to sell it back to me, and if I don't recognize it, it's something else going on there. But it's not, I know enough. People like who do mimic stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I think that no one can speak through me and that type of stuff. It's just me. Like, if it's something that sounds like me, it must be something else. So anyway, but, and like nobody's organizing me either. And I'm not getting lost. I just want people to don't, because I know we're at 45 minutes now. And so anyway, so I just want to say that. And so, so yeah, architect, right? But if it's, I'm pretty good at like being precise and everything, to say the right things at the right time, and like, in the right way and everything. And with the right effect or whatever. But, and to the extent that, what I'm saying is like, because like it's the right answer. Sometimes there's a right answer, So, and it's not about, sometimes people try to do the square peg in the round hole, right? And that's like you got to force it. And it's like I rebuked about the enemy games now. It's like violent ish. That people like are seeing things. People in a certain jurisdiction, when I say things like that, they think it's always sexual innuendos, or they think it's like it's violence and all that type of stuff. That was a lie. So anyway, but like it's just the idea that people try to like make make things, because it's just the devil. But like, so it's just the idea that people just try to say something that's not accurate. And I don't want to not say it because it is my math and everything. I don't want to not say it because, because people think they figured out telling a better story about it doesn't mean it's not my math. So I'm just going to go with my original intent and say what I was going to say, even though people are trying to say, well, I'm making a better story. I'm saying it better. It doesn't even fucking matter, people. Positive God teach you. But like, so, and they're built-in checks to prevent for the worst, the most, differentiated or distinct or like strident or like as far apart as a conflict can be, or as if a conflict can be like, however problematic a conflict can be, there must be a check in it, a check for it, assuming there are people in two different jurisdictions, like a Muslim and a Jew getting married or whatever, okay? Anyway, so that's the idea, right? But anyway, so there's something there to make it work, okay? And where nobody gets hurt, nobody's families get hurt, nobody loses money and stuff like that, because why what's the consequence of love? Love is a choice, but why would it be a consequence to love, if love is like a noble thing, right? Even though it's a choice, right? So why would it cause so many conflicts? That was a liar, right? So I don't know what it is. And even in a family, like if you have siblings and stuff like that, and your siblings, you believe one thing, your siblings believe something else, and blah, 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 blah. Like, why would God create a world where no one knows how to handle that, okay? So anyway, or where God is not built in checks for it, right? So it just doesn't make sense, people. But positive regard to each person. And like people try to guilt trip and all that stuff, that was a liar. I want the best for my men. But anyway, or my guys. Anyway, so So I'm gonna go back to the straw man thing, but whatever. So back to the straw man thing. So if a female thinks that I'm going like that they can pay me, first of all, I'm not a kid. I'm a grown ass woman. You cannot pay me, and I don't know if there is kid currency. You cannot pay me in kid currency with positive regard to you. And even from the time I was a child, I've always been responsible. I get, I don't want to use people trying to make different things about what the word mature means or whatever. Accountable, whatever you want, however you want to say it. I've always I was from a child. I was doing things that a person's would do as responsible adults. There's probably a lot of people who are adults or who are adults who weren't doing those things, right? They were probably just like lazy ass motherfuckers that wasn't doing shit. Okay, you probably understand. People probably understand that language, right? So anyway, so that's it, right? But it does not mean I was an adult in all regards. It just means like in the regards that were most important, right? For the purposes, like I was marriage material when I was a kid, basically. So if I wanted to get married when I was a kid, I probably could have got married and like a man and just been valued to a man. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I whatever. And apparently I'm a spirit anyway. So I'm an old soul, right? So if it's Supreme God, Supreme Being time, I guess I'm an old soul that is throughout the earth is over and over again. I'm the only woman. I'm the only woman and God is a man. That's it, okay? Created man, I'm the only woman. All the females, I don't really know who they are. That's it. Okay, that's the one people want. But like, that's it, right? But anyway, so I was been like, then it's like, that's not what marriage material is in positive regard to all the people I get the story people saying. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it, cooking, cleaning, I'm good, like my, I don't have a problem with like my, expressing myself physically or sexually, with the man. I don't have any of those type of problems, okay? I'm creative in my mind and like, I'm good with money and all those types of things. And so, no one can take credit for the things that I do well because I am a woman. I'm not saying that all females know how to do these things, but apparently people want to like, when I go places, people want to act like they know everything and like they want to try to downplay my contributions and like act like I'm going to be dismissive. So hoping that I don't know how valuable my contribution is to like the world and to God and everything or whatever. I don't know how many contributions, but that's the idea to a man. And they hoping that I don't know that they getting like they're benefiting from everything I'm doing, and they want to like try to tone it down so they don't have to pay me nothing. Like, well, that's not worth nothing. We already knew that. Blah blah blah. So to pay you. That was a lie. I ain't dumb. Okay, because people don't know what I know. I know how to dress. I know how to pick good shoes and good clothes and all that stuff. I know I have good eyes for quality and stuff. I know all this, right? I know how to do my own hair. I know how to braid hair. I know how to do all these things, right? Nobody taught me anything. And if a female was there and like try to represent it, they would teach her to do no. I figured it out, defended, defeated, cured. That's it. Drew it all down, so I don't owe them nothing. Assuming arguendo, but it's probably stuff that's age-old story anyway. Cooking didn't start yesterday. Thinking didn't start yesterday. That was a lie. I know where people are going with that, okay? But like in different jurisdictions about what they think thinking is and knowledge and all that type of stuff, that was a liar. Anyway, but like I'm screening off any conflicts right here. I'm marvelously living silly hell, and what's good for the goose, good for the gander. But like, so that's it, right? Like I've always good grades, and like I was getting up, and like I've always had like good like morning routines and practices. That's very basic things. People like taking showers and good oral health and all those types of things. So I've always been very good at those types of things, and it's just who I am, right? It's never been my problem. And it's not, and I don't know what a pussy bitch is, okay? Please excuse my French and everything. That's never been my issue though. There are some things that are function of age, there are some things that are function of time, blah blah blah. All you have to do is live, and it'll come. It'll just you will know. Typically, people will forget. Well, they'll It's just what it is, okay? It's just fair use stuff, right? So, but people are trying to put their name on stuff that is fair use because they want to be paid for stuff that's fair use. It's ridiculous. I'm not saying that there isn't like trademark and trade secrets and copyright and like patent and all that type of stuff, intellectual property. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that people are trying to like, they think that I'm going to pay for something that I already know, and then people want to try to get in quick and like say something I already know. Like, I'm thinking something in my head, and I'm about to say it out loud, and they want to say it real quick. Well, I'm going to pay you for that. I already know it, people. And it's like credibility on stuff, a positive regard to all the people. Moving on. So anyway, but God is good. I've always been marriage material. Whether or not I got married, I don't care if the guy I married, if he has a mother, a father, it doesn't matter. I haven't married the man. Okay, that's it. And so, I don't owe the females nothing. I don't owe and none of the females in this family or whatever, none of that, nothing, And if they, that's it. And a man can know what marriage is. He doesn't have to have married parents to know what marriage is. And the man can know, he can know these things, right? That's it. People figure out things in different ways. And so there are probably many people who who didn't have married parents who know what marriage is, who were able to sustain a marriage. And there are people who have marriages of all, like, across all spectrums or whatever, all, like, whatever, if they want to get or be wed or be married or whatever, blah, 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 whatever the jurisdictional term is, who may or may not, whatever their IQ is not dispositive, right? Whatever their, mental health is not dispositive. Whatever their, physical health is not dispositive in certain regards, right? Because whatever they have, that, it is a conduct between you and the other individual. That's it. I mean, some people think you're doing different things or whatever, blah, blah. I am married to a man. That's it. Okay, I don't know what CD is. And so... and so that's it, people. And I don't owe nobody nothing, right? That's it. But I pay my bills, right? And so, but apparently that's not even necessary, because sometimes the bills can't even, the company can't even defend, being repaid, so again, no good deed goes unpunished, right? So, because I don't want to call it, predatory lending or anything like that. And so I don't need help with any of that. I'm just saying, because it's not just about black or white people. I'm not saying that. But, like, sometimes people just, sometimes people want to pay you what you already earned, but they want to give it to you in a loan. Like, positive regard, people, because, I'm not dumb. And so, so that's it, right? I want to go ahead and bring this to a close, because it's close to an hour. And so... so the straw man thing, right, is great. I already figured out enough. I don't need to go through all that to, like, say what I already figured out. It's great, but I already figured it out, okay? So it's like, say, well, we're going to show you blah, 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 and then it's like apply to you after that. That's great, people. I never said I was a straw man. And in certain regards, if it's like, if I consent to do something with, with the man, blah, blah, or whatever, blah, blah, that's totally different than a female trying to make a case for herself about why, she should be getting some money from me. That's totally different. That's straw man worthless shit, okay? If you're saying something, and in the positive regard, if it's not self-hate or anything like that, positive regards to females, I'm just saying, in my personal life, okay? In my personal life, if you're trying to make a case for yourself about why you should be entitled to some, or why you should get some money or whatever, blah, 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 or why from me, and I say no, but you want to do some shit to manufacture some shit, blah, 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 or manufacture something, and, like, it has, then, my guys that are coming and regulating, blah, 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 but, like, if you're trying to do some shit, like, and try to make a case for why you should get some shit, that was a lie. That's it. I don't know, nothing. And, like, trying to use energy work to do all this type of stuff, like give it a lick, or like social workers up, or I don't know what this is the terms people. I'm just using, like, this is the term, the way I understand it. Okay, I don't know what the term is for energy work, or like a type like OCD stuff or whatever. Like, if that's what you're trying to do to, like, make your case, and then, like, and all the other stuff that that people do, right, and doppelganger and stuff, and all that type of stuff, to make your case, and maybe guys respond to it or other people respond to it, blah, 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 blah. But I'm telling people now, like, whether, and then they say, well, it's like, it's just how life is after a certain amount, like, if you've done a certain, that's great, people, but that's not what I'm doing, or whatever. And so other grounds, if I'm a matter of first instance, or I'm exception to the rule, or, I'm telling a different story, my religious belief until silly hell, or what's good, and all this type of stuff, right? But that's not what I was going to say, but that's the idea. Then, like, there's something else totally different going on there. Was an exception, or whatever, general exception just for me, all this type of stuff. It's totally different, people. If you, like, stop it and rewind, if you have a problem keeping up, okay, people, don't hold anybody accountable, whatever. But, like, but that's it, okay? So if you're trying to say they're paying me and, like, help me understand why straw man is worthless, I already said straw man is worthless. Like, why would I pay for that? No. Okay? Positive regard to you. If it took me 3-4 weeks or whatever to, like, cure all the stuff that people did, something I already knew, and, like, to get the conclusion why I already knew that. Like, I don't have to take this class in high school. Like, even in high school, there's some shit you can still elect to take and not take. Like, there are some required courses, but there's some shit you don't have to take, right? So that's it. Or even in high school, and probably in other schools too. I think in middle school, they're probably electives in, like certain things. In elementary school, maybe it's called extracurricular activities or whatever. There's some shit, I don't know, you just don't have to do. You don't need to do it to graduate. That's it. Okay? Positive regard to all the people. So anyway, that's it. So straw man, no, I ain't paying for that. Okay, I don't know what CD is. And positive regard, people do owe me money, like just directly. They owe me money. It's about $1,000. People owe me just like in the last 3 weeks. Okay, positive regard to each of you. So you should figure it out. T-Mobile's one of them. Positive regard, T-Mobile, no big deal. I like Sprint. I like T-Mobile. I like all that. I like all of it. But I'm just saying. I mean, actually, because like I paid some money and I returned things, and so I'm just waiting for the refund. That's all. But I still, it's still cool. It's still a good company, as far as I know, for what it's worth. But I'm not really sure. That's not where I hold my phone services right now, but but I did have a phone back in the day. So so that's it. And so in terms of like the contribution of a man, maybe that people contribute different things. They say, well, every woman contributes, like the point of like procreation, every woman contributes to this, blah blah blah. But there are females who don't have kids or whatever, blah blah blah, and they probably still. They may or may not, I don't know if they've been married or not, whatever, but there are females who don't have siblings also, and it's a whole lot of things right there. And we're talking about truth and trust and spirit and everything like that. You start to introduce the idea of religion and spirit and everything, then I possibly possibly have a lot of a lot of guys, boy children, whatever, blah blah blah. So, or children, whatever. I don't really know. I don't really know, but I'm not gonna say that. I'm just saying like I probably have. I don't really know. But that's the idea. But what would be my contribution? I'm creative. That's it. I'm creative. So my contribution is creativity. Creativity. I'm giving creativity. They say, well, the child is the highest form of creativity. I'm not sure in what regard is it. In what regard, right? Are they saying it's the highest form? I'm probably gonna go a little bit over an hour, but maybe not. So I'm just gonna leave it there. In what regard? That's it. So I'm gonna end this because it's gonna be an hour on the nose, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and end it. My contribution, and either a man spiritually or whatever my creative production is, and I don't know about nothing.